back to my channel. I'm doing something a little bit different today because as I was prepping this image, coloring it to get ready for to put onto my Etsy store, because I like to have a finished colored page on there, I realized that I probably should have, filmed it for you guys. So I have already started it, but I will tell you what I did. As you can see, I printed it on my Nina Desert Storm cardstock. And I want the background, and even on the original painting, the background of this piece is very neutral and gray. It is not finished yet. The background is not finished yet, but I did put down some gelatos to kind of get a base going. When I put the gelatos down first, I find that my Prismacolors over the top go on much smoother and blend much better into the gelatos. So I put gelatos down. I started putting some colored pencil on there, some black and some white. But I will work on the background some more with you on camera. This is just kind of like the first layer. And then as you can see, I did do the gold leaf in the center of the mandala. And all I did was put down the size, the glue size, and then put a full sheet, and then just kind of filled in the areas with smaller bits and pieces. If you missed the video on Girl with Squirrel, I showed you how I did the gold leaf. It's very easy. It's kind of a no-brainer kind of process. So I did that, and then I went through and I used a white paint pen. I did not use a Posca pen. I used, sorry, I'm pulling it out here so I can show you. Oh, I should have done this beforehand. I used these new paint pens that I am in love with. They are by Art, and I find that they work better than Posca pens. I'm not a huge fan of Posca pens. I have problems with them. And these, see if I can show you these. I don't know, it might be too big of a, these come in the most lovely neutral colors. Yeah. And I have a lot of them. And lots of greens. Anyway, they come in different sets, and I've not had any problems with them. I love them. So actually, now that I think about it, I did not use white on this. I used a very light, cool gray one that I have, which seems to work nicer than bright white, and still shows up and looks like white, but it's not quite as stunningly bright. So that's what I've done so far, and I'm going to just go ahead and keep on going. What did I say about the background? Did I stop my train of thought on the background? The background is going to be gray and neutral because I want I want everything else on the page to really show up and pop. I want the flowers and the deer himself to really stand out. So the background's going to stay real neutral and plain. Okay, so I have pulled out some Prismacolors for him, and we'll see if I need to add any along the way. But I have, I guess in no particular order, Beige Sienna, Sienna Brown, white, 10% French Gray, Sepia, light Umber, black, and 70% warm gray and 90% warm gray. So we'll see how we do with those, and we'll go from there. So I'm just going to kind of get started. and take you along for the ride, so to speak. I think I'll start with Beige Sienna, maybe. Do I want to go lighter than that? I don't think so. So, in the grayscale page, oh, and this is actually the light version of the grayscale pages that I have to offer. So, as you can see, the definition of the hair is definitely not as strong as the definition of the hair would be in the darker version. But really, that's kind of where that video that I did on how to selectively lighten grayscale pages will come in really handy, because then you can just lighten the areas that you want to and not worry about areas that you don't want to, that you want to keep a little darker. All right, let's go with Sepia. I want to put this color in and try and leave those clumpy hairs showing where I just put that Beige Sienna, because the top of this deer's head is kind of fuzzy, and so we want to see the clumps. And you guys are always welcome to use either my colored version or my painted version of these pages as your inspiration or your guide to help you as you color your own. Sometimes it's when you're just kind of getting into coloring a certain thing, like animals. Sometimes it's easier to copy someone else's work. I guess kind of like when you do a tutorial. But if you have the person's work in front of you, a lot of the times it's easier to see what needs to be done, and it kind of teaches you for next time different techniques and different looks that you might want to use. Okay, what do I want to do next? Let's try some of this light umber. I've never done the gold leaf before adding color, so we'll see how that technique works. I'm not sure if it'll work. This is 90% warm, 90% warm gray. Okay, I think think for down here, I'm going to switch to the 10% French. I just want a few hairs because his nose is actually darker. Down there. And then I don't know. I'm using really light pressure here just to kind of block in the color so that I kind of know what I'm doing here. And then that way it doesn't cover up the light color that I already put down. But it just kind of helps me see what goes where. It's kind of like when I do a painting and I block out the colors before I really go in for detail. All right, I'm gonna get some of this established. So I'm gonna go with, I don't know if I want Beige Sienna or if I want to go with, I think I'll start with 10% French Gray. Just a little bit on the edges. And then I will go to Beige Sienna. I kind of wonder if I should have printed him on white. We'll see how it goes. All right, then if I come in with my 10% French and just flick, just doing and let's see, we start sharpen this one a little bit better. Okay, this is my 70% warm gray. When you're doing hair, it's kind of like, instead of, you know how on skin you do all these like soft little circular motions? When you're doing hair, a lot of the time, I will not say all the time, but a lot of the time, it's all short little flicky motions. Now I'm going to put in some of these darker hairs. I just enjoy doing animals so much. I don't know why. I guess just seeing their Sweet little faces come to life. Their hearts are so pure. Right now, because I did it on tan paper, it's probably not super striking because I'm doing kind of a tan animal on tan paper. But I'm hoping that once I get everything colored, all the color on here, you won't be able to tell. All right, just for my own, I don't know if I would call it pleasure, but I want to get some other colors in here. So this is light umber. Oh, I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you guys could tell, but my sweet husband worked this weekend on I don't know if I want to call it a rig, but you know, I was having problems with the camera shaking, and I was always worried about the camera shaking. Every time I looked up, it was like, oh, the camera's shaking, oh, the camera's shaking. And some of the, you know, some of that wasn't, you know, was taken care of by the camera's, what you call it, the stabilizer. But a lot of the time when I went back to look at the footage, it really, you know, it was shaking. And I know I had several of you say, don't worry about it, it's fine. But it was just one of those things that I was always concerned about. So he built me this thing that sits in front of my desk, in front of me, and it's basically another table. It's built on a vintage sewing machine base because we had several of those left over from when I was in the vintage business. And so it's nice and heavy, you know, it's really strong and sturdy. I'm still using 70% warm gray. And then he built this arm, so it has a tabletop. He built this rounded top so it doesn't protrude too far into my room. And so it has this wooden arm that comes across my table that's detachable with wing nuts. And so basically now my my camera arm is sitting in that wooden piece that hovers over my table. And so now I can just color away to my little heart's content. And the table doesn't shake, and the camera doesn't shake. And it's just so lovely. I was so excited when he figured out the best way to do that. All right, so this Sienna Brown is giving a little bit redder of a color than I used in the painting, and definitely a little redder of a color than I used in the sorry, I can't speak. That was the reference photo, but I really like it, so I'm going to use it because it needs some reds in his sweet little self. So All right, I want to make this show up just a little bit more, so I'm going to use my white. I want the light hairs to show up better. That's good. Okay, back to sepia. I want a little bit more. We need a little more dark in here. Okay, let's do some 10% French gray. Get a little bit of highlight in there. I might want a lighter gray that I didn't pull out. So let me pull out a, did I say French? Yeah, that was French. Okay, I want a warm gray though. So I think we'll try 30% warm gray in here. Kind of want to mix the warm and cool colors in this painting, in this drawing. This is 70% warm. So in the background, like the background has grays, but it also has what is this? Hazelnut. I just like using lots of different colors. Okay, this needs to be darker. If I am able, I can't, because I can't remember if this, if the reference photo that I used for him, I can't remember if it came off of a free site or if it was a reference photo that I paid for. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. So if it's a photo that's off of a free site, then I will link that in the description box below so that you can look at the actual photo that I used when I created the painting. That might help. Something about this. Let me do the white. That's not bad. I think I'm going to add some more. Let's try 10% French gray. I feel like my highlights are not good enough. And remember to go, you know, all different directions, because fur and hair does not generally all lay perfectly parallel to each other. So you'll get a lot more natural look if you make those hairs kind of random. Sometimes you just need white. All right, since I kind of seem to be working this side of his face, let's get this eye done. Bring some more black in here. Oh, it's so nice to look up at the camera and see that it's not moving. It's the little things, you know. Okay, I'm gonna pull out my sky blue light, because it seems like every time I add this color as the highlight, the eye looks so much more natural. And then we'll put a little bit right on the outer edge. And then if I really, really wanted to, I could just do a brighter bit of white. That's good. Let's make this a little darker. Okay. What do I want to do? I don't know. Sorry. Bear with me while I figure this out. Something about this is not right. I think I messed up. I think I'm supposed to have gold leaf. Yeah, this was supposed to come up to his eye, and then this. So that is supposed to have gold leaf in it. This one's okay. I'll have to fix that. See if I can remind myself. I don't know if this will help or not. This was my gold pencil. Yeah, that's gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna have to put the gold leaf in there real quick, because it changes all the proportions of his face. All right, back to what I was doing here. I kind of feel like I'm all over the place. All right, I'm just going to add a little bit of this Sienna Brown in here. This has to be much, much darker, so I'm going to go ahead and, I guess, use the 90% warm gray. So the top of his nose is actually pretty dark. But I'm going to flick it in so that some of that light still shows. This might not even be dark enough. Coop. I wish you could hop up here and say hi to everybody. Okay, a little bit more dark in here. All right, I'm gonna use some black because I feel like this is still not dark enough. I'm using it kind of selectively, so it's, I'm almost doing little V's so that it looks like it's the deepest part of the fur, so that it's almost like the the shadows, I guess. That's getting better. I think the problem with the page, doing it on the tan paper, was that everything felt mid-tone. Nothing was really dark enough yet, and it just didn't look right. But now it's starting to get better. I do some, sharpen this a little bit. This is the 10% French. Got a little clump there. That's we're getting there. That's getting better. Okay. Am I still in frame? Yes. Let's go ahead and do I'm going to go ahead and do the white of his top of his nose. And I might, what do I want to do? No, I'm going to put some 30% warm gray down first, because I think I would rather have that be with a gray undertone. All right, and then the white. So in here, I am going to flick those hairs. Don't use too sharp of a pencil if you're using a Prisma, so you don't break the tip off. And I'm just curious, because it's been a while since I pulled one of these out. I've got my whole bean, which I haven't used in such a long time. And I probably shouldn't have sharpened it that sharp. We're probably gonna wind up seeing it break, but I just want to see maybe if I go like more straight down. So let's see if I can get a little bit brighter. No, the Prisma pretty much, I think, did it. All right, so no to the whole bean, not necessary. All right, I'm gonna take my 90% warm, and there's some areas here that are got that dark hair showing through. And then maybe we'll come right up. That's pretty good. All right, so let's get the white down here as well then. This I'm not gonna put gray down as a base. Just flicking, just making clumps of hair, and I'm letting the tan be the under, the color that kind of shows through. If you're doing this on a white paper, then I would probably put, how would I do this if I was doing this on white paper? I guess you would just put in your darks around the whites, and hopefully when you print it on white paper you'll be able to see the dark areas and the white areas. If you don't have the Nina Desert Storm, but you want to do it on tan, the Strathmore mixed media paper in tan is a great second choice. It's toothier than this is, but it's not nearly as toothy as the toned tan paper. You guys know I don't get along with that paper very well. It's just way too toothy for me. All right, so I'm gonna put some dark in here and some little spots. He's got little spots on his chin. Okay, that's not bad. This still needs some work. I feel like this is probably going to take me longer to do than a human portrait. I'm going to try some Sienna Brown and see if that does anything at all. Nope, it does not. So I'm going to pull out my white. And that's just for the kind of highlighty hairs. I'm going to come back in here with some more raw, not raw umber, light umber. Just kind of lightly glazing it in here because there wasn't enough color. Okay. A little bit more up here. So I'm trying to decide if I should, continue on at regular speed with you guys. I'm still unsure whether you like bearing with me through all of my trying to figure out what to do phase. So that was Sky Blue Light. Now I'm going to use, what am I going to use? I think I want a cool black for the nose. So I'm going to switch to my, make sure I have my Prisma black, because it's definitely a more neutral or cooler black than that Schmierfarben black. I'm going to put that on here. This goes really dark in here. I think I went too dark. So I'm going to use a cool gray. Let's see. This is 50% cool gray. I want to lighten up the top of the nose. Real light, I'm just blending, I'm just kind of blending these colors together. All right, so our nose nostril has to be really dark. And then I'm going to do the center of the nose pretty dark. But I don't want it so dark that you can't see the nostril. Go dark down here. And then use that 50% cool gray. We'll do that here. Just blend that in. I'm using little circular motions to try and blend that. And then a little highlight right here. And then I'm just, again, really lightly, just kind of blending those colors together. All right. So I want to smooth this out a little bit. And then I'm going to use Sepia, even though it's kind of already the color I want. It's already kind of the color I want. There's Sepia around here. Just trying not to cover up the little whisker marks, because it'll be easier to put those whiskers back in if I'm not covering over a dark color. All right, I think I want some more dark in here. Just a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop talking. I am going to leave the video. No, I need to make some decisions. All right, I am going to stop talking. I will try really, really hard to show you the pencils as I use them, because I'm nowhere near done. And I mean, this could take me a while. So I'll continue to film, and then I'm not sure if I'm gonna upload it double time, and then you guys can slow it down if you want to watch in real time, or if I'm gonna upload in real time and you guys can speed it up if you don't want to watch in real time. So either way, we'll figure it out, but I do think I'm gonna stop talking so you won't miss out on anything, and I'm just gonna keep ongoing. This side of his face is pretty much going to be, you know, the same process as the side of his face. But I feel like this is really boring. So I need something darker. I think that's what I'm going to do. And before I start the camera back up again, I'm going to fix this gold leaf problem. And I might occasionally come back and talk. I don't know. It depends on the mood I'm in. So, yeah, I'm going to shut the camera off and then I will continue. Alrighty, I think I am pretty much finished with the deer. I'm just going to put a little bit of some darkness over here. That antler looks weird, but it's covered up by a flower. So I think once I get the flower in, it won't look quite so strange. So there he is so far, and I think it'll really the piece will really come to life once we get the pink magnolia buds on here. So yeah, I have no idea how long this video took. Hopefully not too long. I do think I'm going to speed through it because yeah, just because. So don't forget, you know, you can click those 3 little buttons in the top of the video, 3 little dots in the top of the video. Oh, that looks better. That gave it a little more 3-dimension right there. And slow the video down if you don't want to watch it double time. So yeah, the texture of the antlers is all going to be due to your shadows and highlights. So that makes a huge difference. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. So I will end this video for now, and when I come back, we'll do the pink magnolia flowers. So yay! Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for everybody who's purchasing my coloring pages. It's really wonderful. And if I can help you or answer any questions after you've purchased it in any way, whatever, just yeah, just shoot me a note on Instagram, and I'll see what I can do to answer them. Anyway, that is all. Until I see you guys next time, happy coloring. Bye.